Level 1, the Junior Intern. You are still in university, finishing up your final exams and credits. A well-known company offers you a summer internship for 10 weeks. They promise a flexible schedule, 3 days in the office and 2 days remote. The pay is $38 per hour. For a student, this feels like a real fortune. You realize you'll earn over $7,000 over the summer, which is highly motivating. You accept the offer immediately, without a second thought. The night before your first day, you can't sleep at all because of the nerves. You wake up at 5 in the morning to get everything ready. You change your outfit 3 times, terrified of looking awkward in your khakis. You arrive at the office very early at 7:45 a.m. when it's still completely silent. Finally, Marcus appears, a senior engineer who has been here for 8 years. Marcus has a cool workspace with 3 large monitors. He immediately asks if you understand the principles of subnets. You try to explain, but you make a mistake, which makes you blush. Marcus calmly draws a diagram on the whiteboard, explaining it very simply. For the first week, you just shadow him like a ghost and learn to handle tickets. One day, you look for the reason why a user's email isn't syncing. After 4 hours of searching, you are the one who finds the configuration error. Marcus says, "Good job," and you feel an incredible surge of pride. You decide that this is exactly what you want to do for the rest of your life. Level 2, Junior Network Engineer. You have officially graduated from university and received your diploma. The company invites you for a full-time position with a salary of $78,000 a year. After taxes, you take home nearly $3,800 every month, your first serious income. You finally rent your own apartment, despite having student debts. Your first official day starts with a slight feeling of confusion. Your new boss is Sarah, a super professional with 7 years of experience. It seems like she knows the answers to every question in the world. At the morning meeting, the team discusses complex things like BGP and OSPF protocols. You quickly write down every unfamiliar acronym in your notebook. Sarah gives you your first independent task to investigate network speed issues. You see that a user's productivity is suffering due to a slow connection. Your hands shake a little as you log into the network control panel. At first, the monitoring doesn't show any obvious traffic problems, but suddenly you notice a port is configured for 100 megabits per second instead of a gigabit. Someone made a mistake during configuration, and you fixed it. The user calls 15 minutes later to thank you for the fast internet. Sarah notices your success and gives you increasingly difficult tasks. You study network security and learn to analyze traffic packet by packet. One day you make a mistake and accidentally block the company's outbound traffic. Sarah catches it in time and instead of yelling, calmly explains your mistake. Level 3, Network Engineer. 3 years have passed and you are no longer the insecure rookie you once were. Your salary has grown to $115,000 a year, providing a sense of stability. You buy your first professional laptop and a lot of specialized hardware. Now you are responsible for an entire segment of the corporate network on your own. Your new colleague, Tom, constantly asks you for advice on configurations. Your first night shifts begin, where you have to be on call 24/7. At 2 in the morning, the main gateway in a branch in another city goes down. You quickly open the console and start diagnosing the problem via VPN. Your pulse quickens, but you remember Marcus's lessons. The key is to stay calm. You discover the cause was a firmware glitch after an automatic update. You roll the system back to the previous stable version in just a few minutes. The network comes alive and the traffic graphs turn green again. The next morning, Sarah thanks you for your quick response. You start learning automation so you don't have to do manual work anymore. You write your first script that replaces 3 hours of tedious port checking. You realize that networks aren't just hardware, but pure code. Your authority in the team grows, and you are invited to complex architecture meetings. You buy yourself your first nice car, something you dreamed of as an intern. But you don't forget how important it is to help those who are just starting out. You are ready for the next step, becoming a senior engineer. Level 4, Senior Network Engineer. You get promoted to senior engineer, and now your word carries weight. Your annual income is now $165,000, not including bonuses. Instead of just fixing what's broken, you now design the network architecture. You spend your days in meetings with management, explaining the development strategy. You have a new colleague, David, a developer who constantly argues about security. The company decides to open a new data center, and you are the lead person in charge. You spend weeks choosing the best equipment and fiber optic cables. Your inbox is flooded with requests from recruiters of other top companies. One day, a critical failure occurs. The global cloud system stops responding. The whole office looks at you, waiting for magic and a quick solution. You maintain icy calm while analyzing the traffic routes. The problem is on the provider's side, and you switch traffic to a backup channel. You write a detailed incident report so this never happens again. You start speaking at professional conferences, sharing your experience. Your old mentor Marcus writes to you, "I'm proud of your success." You realize that you have now become a Marcus for your own team. You begin to take an interest in mentorship and the psychology of management. Your workspace now looks like a flight control center. You feel that technology is just a tool. The most important things are people and systems. You are ready to move to the level of network architect. Level 5, Network Architect. You officially become a network architect, and now your work is pure strategy. Your income reaches $210,000 a year, and you start investing in your own projects. You no longer touch cables with your hands. Your weapons are high-level diagrams. You develop a plan to migrate the entire infrastructure to a hybrid cloud. In meetings, you meet with the CTO to discuss multi-million-dollar budgets. Your new challenge is to ensure the operation of services in 15 countries simultaneously. You implement the zero trust concept. Now security becomes absolute. Engineers from other departments come to you to settle their technical disputes. You notice that one of your old architectural schemes is outdated and needs an update. You spend a sleepless night drawing a scheme that will save the company hundreds of thousands. You implement AI for network monitoring that predicts failures before they happen. The company experiences a massive DDoS attack, but your architecture withstands the hit. You receive the Engineer of the Year award at a major tech conference. You buy your dream home with a perfect home office and a server room. Your mail now consists of invitations to exclusive professional dinners. You decide to spend a day with the team in an informal setting over pizza. You become a mentor for Sarah, who used to be your boss. Your job now is a balance between technical excellence and business logic. You feel that you have created something that will outlast your time at this company. You are ready to move to the level of Director of Infrastructure. Level 6, Director of Infrastructure. You get the director position, and hundreds of engineers report to you. Your annual income reaches $280,000, opening up new opportunities. Your calendar is filled with strategic meetings and planning. You make decisions about purchasing technology worth tens of millions of dollars. Your office is now large, but you still wear your favorite red cap. Your new deputy, Eric, proposes radical changes to the security system. Your role now is to remove bureaucratic obstacles from your team's path. You explain to the board of directors why network stability is more important than fast features. Competitors try to poach your best development team. You create a culture where people stay for the ideas, not just the money. You have to shut down an outdated project to make way for innovation. You buy a luxury house in the mountains to escape the noise of data centers. You start writing articles on IT management for leading global publications. You fly to Asia to open your company's first office there. You meet with investors to discuss the future of quantum networks. Your mentor Marcus visits, and you reminisce about your internship days. You realize that your greatest achievement is the people you have raised. You implement green technologies, making your data centers eco-friendly. You feel a huge responsibility, but now you know how to handle it. You are ready for the highest technical position, CTO, Chief Technology Officer. Level 7, Chief Technology Officer. You take the CTO position, responsible for every bit of the company's data. Your income exceeds $450,000 a year, including significant stock options. Instead of managing engineers, you now manage other directors. Your signature confirms strategic partnerships with tech giants. You initiate a complete change of the tech stack to remain a market leader. You meet with the CEO to discuss how technology can save the business during a crisis. Your brand becomes so strong that you are invited as a keynote speaker to forums. You implement a culture where engineers have time for their own research and development. Your former boss, Sarah, now heads one of your largest departments. You personally intervene in a problem that hasn't been solved for a week. You discover that true genius lies in simplifying what others made too complex. You allocate grants for students, remembering your own start. You build your own tech hub to support promising startups. Your management style is based on complete trust and a perfect system. You travel the world, visiting offices from London to Singapore. You become a board member for several other successful companies. You invite the retired Marcus to a gala dinner in your honor. You feel that network architecture is your true art form. You begin to think about what legacy you will leave behind in this industry. You are ready to move to the level of global visionary. Level 8, Global Visionary. You leave corporations to become an advisor to governments and tech giants. Your income is unlimited. A single consultation costs tens of thousands. You become a key expert in cybersecurity at the national level. You develop a decentralized architecture for the Internet of the future. You buy a private island as a base for developing new technologies. Your old colleague Tom is now a director himself and asks you to be his mentor. You write a manifesto on the ethical use of AI in networking. Your TED Talk collects tens of millions of views in a single day. You implement free high-speed internet in the most remote corners of the world. You discover a critical vulnerability in a protocol that has existed for 20 years. You gather the world's best hackers to protect humanity. Your thoughts on technology instantly change stock prices on the exchanges. You create a venture fund to support young rebel engineers. You refuse the title of the richest person in favor of seeking new knowledge. You build a laboratory for testing quantum communication. You travel into space to set up the first interplanetary communication node. You realize that you are still that same guy in the red cap. Your voice becomes decisive in matters of digital property ownership. You feel that the network is a living organism and you are its creator. You are ready to write the book of your life. Level 9, Legendary Mentor and Author. You are in your 50s. You've seen the birth and death of entire eras of technology. You could have retired long ago, but you keep working for the sake of ideas. Problems are still interesting, and people remain the most important part. You are editing your comprehensive guide to network architecture for the future. The book has 40,000 words built on your mistakes and successes. The release of this book next fall will be your true legacy. Your mentor Marcus is the first to read the manuscript and approves it. You realize that knowledge is more important than any titles or money. You see an internship application that reminds you of yourself long ago. A young student is eager to learn but afraid of looking like a fool. You hire him instantly, remembering Marcus's faith in you. You see him nervously adjusting his clothes and simply give him a wink. You will teach him as patiently as you were taught 28 years ago. This is the great cycle. Knowledge must pass from master to student. You host free seminars for engineers from all over the world. Your voice sounds confident as you explain the most complex concepts. Your former students, now leaders themselves, come to you for advice. You feel a deep satisfaction that the field is improving because of your work. In the evenings, you read reviews from people whose lives were changed by your book. The cycle is complete. People grow, and it was all worth it. Level 10. Living Legend. Your name is now studied in textbooks alongside the pioneers of networking. You retire from your active career, but your influence is just beginning to bloom. Your foundation builds internet infrastructure where it never existed before. Your home has become a place where young geniuses go for wisdom. You turn your old university building into a modern academy. At the opening, you hug the elderly Marcus, who is incredibly proud. You say in your speech that the most important part of any network is the person. Your book becomes a bestseller in 50 languages around the world. You walk into the Academy's server room, breathing in the familiar smell of ozone. You see an intern crying over a configuration they accidentally deleted. You sit down next to them, right on the floor, to calm them down. You tell them the story of your first steps and your own mistakes. You help them fix everything, showing that there is always a way out. Your path has come full circle. Now you are the anchor for others. You take off your red cap and place it in a glass frame on the wall. Without the cap, you are just a person, but your legacy is Titan-sized. The digital world you built now works perfectly on its own. You sit in a rocker on the porch with your dog, enjoying the moment. You read that your student Tom has just launched a network on Mars. You close your laptop. You didn't just build a network, you built the future.